I am Dr. M. SHANTHI, Professor of Chemistry, Annamalai University. Today I am going to discuss about different types of air pollutants, what is air pollution and their biochemical effects, and how do you control the pollutions. So, here different types of learning objectives are discussed. First one, introduction. In this introduction, what is pollution, then different types of pollutants and nature of air pollution and types of air pollutants are discussed. Next, sources of air pollutants, effects of different air pollutants and air pollution controlling methods are discussed. First, introduction. The pollution, the contamination of environment causing hazards to living organisms and other material is called pollution. Next, what is pollutants? Substance present in nature is greater than natural abundance due to human activity produce hazards to living things are called as pollutants. Next, what is air pollution? The definition. Air pollution is the release of pollutants such as gases, particles, biological molecules, etc. into the air that is harmful to human health and the environment. Next, air pollution refers to any physical, chemical or biological change in the air. It is the contamination of air by harmful gases, dust and smoke which affect plants, animals and humans tragically. Next, there is a certain percentage of gases present in the atmosphere. An increase or decrease in the composition of these gases is harmful to survival. This imbalance in the gaseous composition has resulted in an increase in earth temperature which is known as global warming. Next, classification of air pollutants. There are two types of air pollutants. First one, primary pollutant, next one, secondary pollutants. What is primary pollutants? The pollutants that directly cause air pollution are known as primary pollutants. Example, sulfur dioxide emitted from factory is a primary pollutants. Secondary pollutants, the pollutants formed by the intermingling and reactions of primary pollutants are known as secondary pollutants. Example, smoke formed by the intermingling of smoke and fog is a secondary pollutant. Next, different types of air pollutants. First one, sulfur oxide, next one nitrogen oxide, then carbon monoxide, acid rain, photochemical smoke, hydrocarbons, etc. Sources of air pollutants. The following are the important causes of air pollution. First one, burning of fossil fuels. The composition of fossil fuels emits a large amount of sulfur dioxide. Carbon monoxide released by incomplete combustion of fossil fuels also results in air pollution. Next, from automobiles, the gases emitted from vehicles such as jeeps, trucks, cars, buses, etc. pollute the environment. These are the major sources of greenhouse gases and also result in disease among individuals. Next, agriculture activities. Ammonia is one of the most hazardous gases emitted during agriculture activities. The insecticide, pesticide and fertilizers are emit harmful chemicals in the atmosphere and contaminate it. Next, factories and industries. Factories and industries are the main source of carbon monoxide, organic compounds, hydrocarbons and chemicals. These are released into the air, degrading its quality. Next, mining activities. In the mining process, the minerals below the earth are extracted using large pieces of equipments. The dust and chemicals released during the process not only pollute the air, but also deteriorate the health of workers and people living in the nearby areas. Then, domestic sources. The household cleaning products and paints contain toxic chemicals that are released in the air. The smell from the newly painted walls is the smell of the chemicals present in the paints. It not only pollutes the air, but also affects breathing. General effects of air pollution. The hazardous effect of air pollution on the environment include: first one, diseases. Air pollution has resulted in several respiratory disorders and heart disease among humans. Children living near polluted areas are more prone to pneumonia and asthma. Then global warming. Due to the emission of greenhouse gases, there is an imbalance in the gaseous composition of the air. This has led to an increase in the temperature of the earth. This increase in earth temperature is known as global warming. Then ozone layer depletion. The release of chlorofluorocarbons, halogens and hydrochlorofluorocarbons in the atmosphere is the major cause of depletion of ozone layer. The depleting ozone layer does not prevent harmful ultraviolet rays coming from the sun and causes skin diseases and eye problems among individuals. Effect on animals. Air pollutants suspended in the water bodies and affect aquatic life. Pollution also compels the animals to leave their habitat and shift to a new place. This renders them stray and has also led to the extinction of a large number of animal species. Biochemical effects of some important air pollutants. First, sulfur oxides. It absorbs quickly and irritate upper respiratory tract, react with cellular constituent chemical, example enzymes, and sulfuric acid formed lowest pH impairs enzymatic functions and destroy various functional molecules. Next, effect of nitrogen oxides. Oxidize cellular lipids, forms bonds with the hemoglobin and reduces the efficiency of oxygen transport. Then disrupts some cellular enzymic system. Higher levels and prolonged exposure may cause pulmonary fibrosis, inflammation of lung disease and may eventually lead to the death. Effect of carbon monoxide. It competitively inhibits combination of oxygen and hemoglobin. It attacks hemoglobin and displaces O2 to form carboxyhemoglobin and thus reducing oxygen carrying capacity of blood. So, in normal conditions, oxygen combined with the hemoglobin and produce a oxyhemoglobin. It is used to transport of oxygen from all over our body, but in presence of carbon monoxide, highly poisonous, OHP combined with the O2 and oxyhemoglobin, which are again combined with the carbon monoxide, produce a carboxyhemoglobin, highly toxic in nature. Next, acid rain. The burning of fossil fuels releases harmful gases such as nitrogen oxides and sulfur oxide in the air. The water droplets combined with these pollutants become acidic and fall as acid rain, which damages human, animal and plant life. Then the effects of acid rain. Acid rains may cause extensive damage to materials and terrestrial ecosystems such as water, fish, vegetation, stone, steel, paint, soil and mankind as follows. Damage to building and structural materials as well as valuable ancient sculptures carved from marble, limestone, sandstone, etc. because of pitting and mechanical weakening due to attack by the acidic component. Acidification soils with a consequent effect on microbial and soil fauna and fixation of nitrogen. Potential effects on aquatic systems such as acidification, decreased alkalinity and mobilization of metals like aluminum. Other biological effects on aquatic biota such as altered species composition among plankton, vegetation and invertebrates, decline in productivity of fish and amphibian skeletal deformity and increased fish mortality. Possible effects of humans' lungs, skin care may be affected. Photochemical smoke. It is one of the strong pollutant. When the atmosphere is loaded with large quantity of automobile excess during warm sunny days with gentle winds and low level inversion, then the excess gases are trapped by the inversion layer with stagnant air masses and simultaneously exposed to intense sunlight. The number of photochemical reaction takes place by involving NO2, hydrocarbon, ozone and other organic free radicals, leading to the formation of peroxide and other photochemical oxidant in the atmosphere. This gives rise to the phenomenon of photochemical smoke, which is characterized by the formation of aerosols that reduce visibility, generation of brown gassy fumes that irritate the eyes and lungs, which cause extensive damage to vegetation and rubber goods. It is a cyclic process which are involved for the formation of peroxyacyl nitrate. Here so many free radicals are involved, that is a OH radical, HO2 radical. Here all these are combined. Initially reactive hydrocarbon absorb O3, that is ozone, and converted into free radical, alkyl radical containing oxy free radical, the again peroxy radical, hydroxy radical. This cyclic process are continued. Here also this peroxy alkyl oxy radical combined together and produce a peroxy acyl radical. This peroxy acyl nitrate again it is otherwise called as a PAN. This PAN is highly toxic in nature. Effects of photochemical oxidants such as peroxyacetyl nitrate PAN present in photochemical smoke. PAN and ozone toxicity is produced by a generation of free radicals. The free radical produced may damage DNA and thus alter cellular genetic integrity too. The free radicals produced by O3 and other photochemical oxidants attack the sulfadyl groups and the enzymes and also inactivate enzymes like isocitric dehydrogenase, malic dehydrogenase and glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase, which are so much involved and essential for citric acid cycle and generation of cellular energy. Some of these compounds can react with the constituents of cell. Carcinogenic hydrocarbon like benzopyrene can react with the DNA, causing mutation and cancer. Air pollution control. Following are the measures one should adopt to control air pollution. First one, avoid using vehicle. People should avoid using vehicles for shorter distance. Rather, they should prefer public modes of transport to travel from one place to another. This not only prevents pollution, but also conserves energy conversion. A large number of fossil fuels are banned to generate electricity. Therefore, do not forget to switch off the electrical appliance when not in use. Thus, you can serve the environment at the individual level. Use of energy efficient devices such as compact fluorescent light also controls pollution to a greater level. Use of clean energy resources. The use of solar, wind and geothermal energies reduce air pollution at a larger level. Various countries including India have implemented the use of these resources as a step towards a cleaner environment. Other air pollution control measures include by minimizing and reducing use of fire and fire products. Since industrial emissions are one of the major causes of air pollution, the pollutants can be controlled or treated at the source itself to reduce its effect. For example, if the reactions of certain raw material yield a pollutant, then raw materials can be substituted with other less polluting material. Fuel substitution is another way of controlling air pollution. In many parts of India, petrol and diesel are being replaced by compressed natural gas fuel vehicles. These are mostly adopted by vehicles that aren't fully operating with ideal emission engines. Although there are many practices in India which focus on repairing the quality of air, most of them are either forgotten or not being enforced properly. There are still a lot of vehicles on roads which haven't been tested for vehicle emissions. Another way of controlling air pollution caused by industry is to modify and maintaining existing pieces of equipment so that the emission of pollutant is minimized. Sometimes controlling pollutants at the source is not possible. In that case, we can have process control equipment to control the pollutions. A very effective way of controlling air pollution is by diluting the air pollutants. Conclusion: air pollution is often most obvious and widespread type of pollution. Health effects of these pollutants include respiratory diseases, birth defects, heart attacks, cancer and developmental disabilities in children. Environmental impacts include destruction of strategic ozone, poisoning of forests and waters by acid rain and corrosion of building materials. To prevent this problem, need to action by government and also increase awareness among people. Thank you.